At Ferris, in the College of Business, we have a capstone course that all College of Business majors take. It's called our Business 499 class, and we have a simulation that's called CapSim. It has five companies that they operate, and they pick which segments they're going to operate in, what kind of products they're going to have, the characteristics of the product, and that type of thing. This is a junior version of that. It has two products, a high-tech and a low-tech. So I'll just walk you very quickly through this short introduction PowerPoint that we use. I guess we can go to the next one. The objective is to blend a multi-discipline. We have accounting, we have finance, we have marketing, and they're like silos. They study finance, they study marketing, they study econ. Well, what this does is it blends it all together. I just got done with a 2-day, we call it Biz Camp, using the same software. It was amazing how these high school students dig into that. They understand how the different parts interrelate with one another. We talk about strategy. There's basically two general strategies, a low cost like a Walmart, and then a differentiation. And they have to decide which of those two strategies they're going to pursue. Let's go on to the next one. And this says why it's risk-free. You know, you don't have any of your money invested. Perhaps part of the grade invested, but no money. So we can go on again. Yeah, you can go on again with that. Okay. Enjoyable. I might say this, that in a learning process, the more senses you can get involved, the more learning takes. So you can see something, you can hear something, you can touch something. Well, what happens here is emotions. You make decisions, and then depending on how well your product is compared to the competition, you pull the trigger and you see how many units you were able to sell, how much profit you made, and the emotions run wild. It's excitement when you did very well. Oh, darn it, you get really discouraged when you don't do well, so you get the emotions involved in it as well. Okay, so the sensor industry in general, let's talk about this. In this simulation, there are two different markets. There's a low-tech. Think of that as a sensor that would go in a toaster. What's the consequence of that going bad? Well, you might get a piece of toast. Think of the high-tech as something that would go in a heart pacemaker. So two very different segments, two very different demands on the product. The characteristics, this is an original equipment market. There's one segment, it's a low-tech, there's one product, but we have very different customers that we'll see in just a second here. This is a perceptual map. And over time, our customers want smaller and faster sensors. You can think of a computer, right? The original computers are the size of this building, and now we have something. So over time, they have to redesign their product to meet the demands of the marketplace. They had to pick their strategy, low cost, differentiation. They had to analyze the industry every year, analyze the competition. They had to make their tactical decisions. How many units are we going to produce? What price are we going to sell it for? They would upload their decisions. We pulled the trigger, I think, every Tuesday at?
No, Thursday at
6 o'clock or something like that.
6
They could change their mind 1,000 times. But whatever was there, Thursday at 6, that's what they ran the simulation in. Determined their capitalistic acumen, how the college students love this. They say, if we do well, we'll go to the bar and celebrate. If we do lousy, we'll go to the bar and drown our sorrows.
You all come up here, all the students that were involved. And you can introduce yourselves and tell what aspect you worked on. Now, the two seniors were sort of like our senior vice presidents. The 8th graders, we split the 12 8th graders into 4 groups. Each group took one of the portions of the company from R&D through financing. And they stuck with it the whole 6 weeks that we worked on it. So our two seniors are Noah and Autumn. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves, let them know where you're going next year and stuff too. Because unfortunately they won't be here with us next year. But
I'm Noah Moss. I'm going to Taiwan in the fall to study Chinese language. So the business marketing part of this was interesting, is that'll be something I'm sure I'm involved in sometime.
So you were the marketing VP then?
This-
Yeah,
we were
they're-
both- her and I were both
Okay.
overseers.
All right, all right.
Both.
I'm Autumn Modena, and I'm going to Grand Valley this fall for a Spanish major. And I enjoyed working on the software in the program because I thought it was just really neat to have your own business, and that you really get to look at every aspect of owning a business and managing it, except you're not dealing with real money, so you don't deal with real debt. So that was nice.
Tell me, how did you like working with Ben and Phoebe?
Yeah, they did an excellent
they
job
were
explaining
nice.
the strategies.
They were told not to tell you what to do, but.
Yeah, they just gave us a
you-
few
you counsel,
ideas,
yeah.
yeah.
So, Tab, you want to start? Introduce yourself and tell them what you worked on.
Okay, I'm Tabitha Keller, and I worked on finance, which some days it was harder because we would argue, just a little bit, and then we'd be like, okay, and then we'd figure it out, and then we'd be like, all right, and then maybe the next week it would be the same thing, but we still did okay, so it worked.
I'm just Belanda. I was in R&D, so we just decided how the size of the performance of the product. And it was easy because we were the first step, so we didn't have to rely on other people's decisions. It was just our team. So.
I might just say it wasn't quite that easy because the R&D had to physically move the product. And we talked about how everything fit together. For example, one way to lower your labor costs was to automate. But if you automated, it's like taking your foot and putting it in a bucket of cement. You had to move quickly along that perceptual map, and if your foot is in a bucket of cement, then you're trying to, very difficult to move the product. So it wasn't quite as easy as it let it out to be here. They did a very good job.
I'm Josh Anderson. I was on R&D with Joseph. It's basically exactly what he said, and bucket of cement.
The further you moved it, the more expensive it was, and the longer it took to get the new product out the door.
And then Ashley. She's hiding there.
Ashley Larson. I worked in financing, and me and Tabitha were in the same area. But any little argument that we had, we also had Nick, one of our friends, to help smooth over, and he really helped a lot. So, kind of said he could be.
Well, Timothy, I have a certificate here, and it says first place team, Crossroads Charter Academy, Ferris State University, Ferris Foundation Challenge, spring semester 2011. Congratulations.
Thank you.